Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to TOI Sports. We are back again with our daily show Beyond the Boundary. And it's a power pack show. We've got a full house today. We've got Dwepan Datta joining us from Chennai. K. Srinivas Rao joins us from Mumbai. And we also have Nitin Naik joining us from Mumbai.
Hi,
Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
thank you.
Regular service resumes tomorrow. The IPL is back from tomorrow. But we have a few issues to deal with before that. Start off with Dwepan. We still are not sure who is available, who is not available. There's still some confusion about it. We know for a fact that Mitchell Stark is not available for the IPL. He is pulled out. And there's some confusion about Josh Hazelwood. We'll know tomorrow when the toss happens what is the scenario. But quite a few of the South African players will not be available for the playoffs. Josh Butler is not going to be available for the playoffs. The West Indies players are going to be available whether there's playoff or no playoff. What is your take about it?
Mm, I think that was like with the WTC final around, that stand had to be taken by the South African and the Australian boards to call back their players. There was no running away from it. But this ODI series between England and West Indies leading to the pullout of Joss Butler is going to be a. I think that is the biggest blow because Gujarat Titans is a team that has been functioning on the power pack performances of those three players on top: Shubman Gill, Sai Sudarshan, and Joss Butler. So if you take Joss Butler out of that, I do not know how they are going to fill that spot. Kusal Mendes, they have brought in Kusal Mendes, but I don't know at this stage of the tournament how they are going to fill it. It's going to be a, I think the biggest blow will be for Gujarat Titans because they have a tight ship. It's not that they have a lot of players to choose from. And Josh Butler was an extremely key component of that team. And Marco Jansen for Punjab Kings. That is another one that is going to be a big miss, I think, because their pace attack is also is dependent on that guy. There is a significant dependence there. So these are going to be the two big misses. Delhi Capitals Tristan Stubbs. Yes, Tristan Stubbs is another big miss. So they, now the teams will have to reconfigure and see how they are going to go about it. Like Josh Hazelwood, whatever it is, I don't think he will be there for the playoffs. I will be surprised if Australia allows the WTC final players to be there for the playoffs. So everyone has to kind of reconfigure and try to make the best of the situation. But it's a tricky call. Now we cannot say just like that who is the favorite. Even Mumbai Indians, Ryan Rickleton, like they do not have a wicket keeper bat as a second wicket. They have to play Robin Mins if they go to the playoffs. So it's a tricky situation.
Srini, we anyways had so much confusion this season where there were so many replacements. Every other day, the IPL was putting out media release saying so and so has replaced so and so. And then you had a situation with Hyderabad where a replacement was also replaced, Smaran Ravichandran. So on top of it, now this break in the IPL and then return and then new set of players. It's going to be difficult for the franchises, wouldn't it be?
Chandresh, you brought out a very important point, and now this is like I really can't take names here, but I have to say this that what I saw this season, and it's extremely worrying, is that franchisees are asking for replacements for injured players, and these very injured players are back on the field playing intra-team matches. They're very much out there on the field. So, what is the basis on which replacements are being sought? I am failing to understand. Midway through the tournament, I'm saying that hypothetically, it can so happen that midway through the tournament, a team realizes that this particular player is not clicking, and you kind of fake an injury and somehow find a replacement. I don't know how this works, but if this is the trend, then it's extremely dangerous. I don't know what kind of an eye is BCCI keeping on this development. On social media, I saw some fan accounts raising concerns from time to time. It's reached a stage now where whatever is happening actually on the field, we are getting to know this from these fan accounts. on Twitter that are so active, and which track their the opposition franchises so closely. So some of these were brought to our notice, and if what I'm guessing is correct, then it's a very unhealthy trend. I really hope it doesn't happen.
You make a valid point, Srini, and I want to bring Nitin over here. We saw Glenn Phillips pulling out of the tournament saying, I have a groin injury. And a couple of days later, he was back in New Zealand and he was flying around. Now, I don't know what happens in the case of a groin injury. I surely don't think that you'll be having a gala time gallivanting, doing the adventure sports over there in New Zealand. And a few of the other players also, they were injured but still traveling with the teams. I don't know what's happening here actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been cloak and dagger stuff around injuries and the way they are presented to the media and as well as to the fans. But I don't think GT really had a place for Glenn Phillips. Rather shockingly, because their Indian core was so strong, and with Butler there, and and their spin options, they were so good. I don't think they really had a place for Glenn Phillips, so I don't think he would be missed much. But uh, as Vaipan said that Mumbai will sorry GT would miss Butler when they reach the playoffs. It's a similar thing happened last year as well. He left Rajasthan Royals, and because I think he had to play against Pakistan, and I think that's when he made that comment that no international cricket really should clash with the IPL because the IPL is itself decent preparation for international cricket. So, uh, but I feel that MI would also be very very badly hit because Will Jacks. I don't think MI has got a replacement player of that quality for Will Jacks. Two Man of the Match awards this year. Bowling, batting. So he will be missed. Ryan Rickerton will be missed. RCB, I don't think they have a replacement for Josh Hazelwood. I mean, whatever their bowling highlight has been this year, it has been because Bhuvi and Josh Hazelwood have bowled so well in tandem. So, yeah, strange times a bit. I think, but generally we've been very critical of BCCI and the way they have handled stuff or the IPL governing council or whatever. But I think here they have made one decent rule that the replacement player that can come in for these 2-3 games or whatever games that are remaining for every franchise, I don't think they can be retained the next year. So I think that's one good rule that they've come up with.
Dwepen, one thing is certain, we are not going to have any issue with the Indian players in the IPL. Most of the issues are with the overseas players, some justified, some not so justified. But there was some confusion about Rajat Patidar, but I believe now he's going to be available for the Bengaluru first game tomorrow against Kolkata Knight Riders. He said he's available. And so that's good news for Bengaluru fans who are anyways going to turn up in huge numbers tomorrow for one Mr. Virat Kohli.
Yes, of course. This RCB emotion will be a kind of a different emotion. Like I'm also kind of waiting to see if RCB go on to win this IPL, whether Virat Kohli will continue playing IPL or not. I probably Srini will be able to say that because of the brand value thing and all those things come into play. But it could be a beautiful ending for Virat Kohli if they go on to win the IPL. And there were some fan accounts which were saying that the entire stadium will be in white one of the days after his uh, test retirement. So the emotions will be running high. So RCB is probably the team that is to look out for. They have been very good in this IPL. That like for the first time they have really seemed like a unit. The the subtext of Virat Kohli retiring from tests, the emotions will be running high. So it's a grand setting, and the kind of fan following that they have, they deserve a title. So it's kind of, I hope everything falls into place for this franchisee because the fans have really suffered for a very very long time.
Srini, I don't know. Dwaipan always makes these kind of comments on the show. We are talking about Virat playing the 2027 ODI World Cup. If what DD says comes through, how will he stay in touch with the game? Not by playing in some park in England, surely.
No,
But
I
not
don't
really.
see him not. Yeah, I don't see him not playing the IPL. He will play the IPL until 2027. Because see, rightly said, this is his only opportunity to keep going. If he wants to continue playing actively until 2027, there's no other cricket. ODIs are very sparse, very few in between, and especially if you consider 2026 again, the early half of 2026 is mainly about the T20 World Cup. T20 World Cup gets over in India, then again until the IPL, we are really not discussing 50 over cricket until May next year, and after that there is a monsoon, etc., etc. So any kind of cricket from a 50 over format next year we'll be discussing. It will be straight September onwards. So for Virat, for brand Virat to kind of keep ticking until then, he will require IPL, and so I don't think. And then again, all the RCB values, etc., put together, I don't see him not playing the IPL. That is going to happen. I have said this actually in the past, right? The day Virat stops playing for RCB, Diageo will sell RCB.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They
that
can't look beyond Virat, and they have not cracked it beyond Virat. Whatever you see in RCB, whatever traction you see in Bangalore, whatever fan following has been there, despite they not winning year after year after year. You imagine Rohit Sharma not winning anything for Mumbai, and then you imagine if Mumbai fans are going to back him. So that madness is like totally different. I don't see any comparison. There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Nitin, Dwaipan made a very interesting point about Kohli. Srini has made an even bigger point about the franchise itself. We've had some comments in the last few days from Ravi Shastri talking about Kohli's retirement and what he thinks has happened. What do you make of this whole situation? Because for a guy who was supposed to play in England, he played that Ranji Trophy game, and we discussed that the other day as well. He played that Ranji Trophy game for Delhi. For this sudden turnaround, for Ravi Shastri to say that he's mentally fried, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think uh, what would have really happened was, I think, uh, at least this is what I've been hearing, that uh, there were suggestions that he was going to be made as an interim captain. At least he had suggested that when the fifth test ended in Sydney, and I think in mid Feb and all, when he was asked to play the Ranji Trophy, I think the agreement was that he would be the selectors and the board are on one page in terms of making him the interim captain till Shubman Gill and all serve their apprenticeship period, so to speak. But I think something changed midpoint. I think Agarkar, Gambhir, and all. I think they were very clear that they don't see Virat lasting the next WTC cycle. Virat and Rohit, I think. Although it's wrong to hyphenate Virat and Rohit in terms of their Test match career and in terms of achievements, but I think in terms of when we're talking about the WTC 2027, I think the selectors as well as the coaches, they clearly you know they clearly thought that they would not last the next cycle, and fair game here. I mean, if they think that in the next cycle both of them are not going to serve Indian cricket, then it might as well make sense to have both of them make way for younger people. Yes, there will be struggles, there will be heartaches, but I think in the long run, I think it will serve Indian cricket well. But I think it should have ended in a more, when you're talking about celebrating legendary careers, I just feel, I just felt that it should not have ended with an Instagram post. It should have ended in a grander manner,
Right.
with a proper press conference arranged. I know because of Operation Sindoor and the Indo-Pak border tensions, a lot of things went a bit haywire, but I'm sure it could have been better handled. I'm sure the BCCI knew that once Virat was told that he's going to be on test after if he doesn't perform for the first two games. I don't think Virat would have taken it well that there's been so much scrutiny on him. So I think it should have been better handled. Even Ashwin, I thought all three should have addressed a joint press conference, and their careers should have been there should have been a happier bookending to their test career.
Yeah, Nitin makes a valid point, Dwepen. Uh, this Instagram thing started by Mahendra Singh Dhoni in 2020, but Rohit was even more curious. It was an Instagram story which lasts only for 24 hours, and you surely needed a better send off for three key players: Ashwin, Rohit, and Virat. Should the BCCI actually be doing something about it? The day they are announcing the test captain or the test squad for England, should there be a press conference where these three are also present, or some kind of an announcement, not a press release at 11:30 in the night?
Chandresh, one thing I am really curious to know, I'm not very sure about it, whether these players themselves care for a press conference, whether the players themselves care for like uh, a Tendulkar or a Dravid or a Ganguly. They cared for whatever they were, whoever they were. They came from a different generation and they did care for the press a, a wee bit. But this generation of players monetize everything. Every word that they say is monetized. In a situation like that, a press conference doesn't make any sense to them. Like they gain nothing out of a press conference. If they make a post of a retirement post, that will get millions and millions of views and they will earn from there. So I think that is the way they prefer to go about it, because I am not, and I can tell you for a fact that these players, at least Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, these guys, they do not care for the press. They don't care for the press, and that's why it doesn't happen. BCCI, I don't know how much BCCI is at fault on this count, because when Ganguly went, there was a similar kind of attention. But Ganguly did attend press conference. He did have a farewell series, and Tendulkar and Dravid, etc. We all know. But this is a different world. The way they play their game is different, I think.
Srini, that's a valid point because Mahendra Singh Dhoni, till date, we don't know why he retired from Test cricket. That too, after attending a press conference, the press release came. We still don't know why he quit the white ball captaincy. We still don't know why he suddenly waited for 1 year to announce his retirement. Uh, Dwepen has the good fortune of speaking to Stephen Fleming at every post and pre-match press conference in Chennai. That wouldn't happen now because Chennai is not playing any match there. What So this is it. This is the way it is going
So,
to be going
Chandresh,
forward.
it's not like we don't know. We know. It's just that we haven't heard it from their mouths.
Then
Let's
Yeah.
put it this way. We very well know why Rohit Sharma is not been picked for a tour of England. We very well know why Virat Kohli is not going to England. We very well know why MS Dhoni midway through a series had to give away captaincy. We know all of that. It's just that we don't have their version. So let's put it this way: the ideal average press conference that you, me, Dwaipa, and Nathan, all of us have kind of grown up in this profession, kind of adhering to, that's gone out of the window, doesn't exist anymore. The world has moved on. Maybe in India, maybe thanks to IPL, maybe thanks to these franchisees, player agents, etc., etc., empowering these cricketers with 20 other platforms that allow them to, as Dwapan said, monetize and do 100 other things. Why should you take questions from a random run-of-the-mill journalist who's going to make you uncomfortable, who's going to ask you some right questions, who's going to ask you, listen, why, if you're not in form, why are you continuing? Why do you want to face these questions? Just put a soft Instagram post, and there are enough fans out there who want to kind of, who want to go with the flow. I saw some Instagram accounts and some Twitter fans, and they truly believe that Rohit Sharma is among the greatest Test cricketers that India has ever seen. So it is there. It is there on Instagram. It is there on WhatsApp. Rohit is a very dear friend. Rohit is someone I've known for a very long time. We were all there when he made his debut. Socially also I keep running into him. every week almost. The fact is, and Ritika also same, but the fact is, Rohit was never a test cricketer. Why are we losing grip on that simple, straight sentiment? Rohit was, kind of, it was forced upon him. Let me put it this way, fans may feel bad. Virat forced Rohit to become the kind of test cricketer that he became in the competition, in the brand competition that they had. Rohit had no choice but to up his game way late in his career. Whereas this is something he should have realized 10 years ago, even in ODIs. But anyways, I mean, I come back to the main talking point. These guys really have nothing to lose if they're not talking to the press. What is it that a Virat Kohli cannot convey to the world without speaking to K. Srinivas Rao from the Times of India? Tell me. Or Dwaipa Datta from the Times of India, or Nitin Naik from the Times. What is it that a Rohit Sharma can't convey without speaking to us or any other newspaper or any other news channel? He's got Instagram, he's got Twitter, he's got his own channel's website, he's got the BCCI website, he's got the YouTube videos, he's got his own YouTube channels, he's got these broadcasters who behave like fan based platforms, So, where exactly does he need mainstream media? You, me, us, we are just occupational hazards right now. We are going to ask him questions that he doesn't want to take, that he has no interest in answering. He will happily take questions from, one sweet IPL anchor who's saying, "कैसा लग रहा है आपको?" बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. So, why would you take questions from anybody who's asking you anything uncomfortable? This was coming. This was coming, and not for the first time. I remember on some other forums, this has been discussed in the past. I remember a very, very senior and a respected cricket writer, a newspaper editor, asked on one public forum. There was a time he said when cricketers would mingle around, speak with journalists, kind of, there would be these free interactions where ideas would be exchanged. Cricketer would go on to talk about, kind of how what's happening in his game, what's happening in the ecosystem. Journalists would go on to talk about what his views are from off the field, and that's where ideas would be interchanged. And he said, "Where have these days gone?" He said, "Well, new age media has spoiled it all, and this is not stopping here. This is just going to go on and on. I mean, we have to listen to Virat Kohli's podcast, whether usko chole kulche pasand hai ya uh, puri chawal, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. But we are there. We are witnessing. I'm just sorry. I'll just wrap this up with one last line. Nobody is interested in kind of. I mean, not just you, me, four of us sitting here. You a while back. We mentioned about, look at the commentators. Where are the commentators? What kind of freedom does the commentators have? What kind of a narrative can a commentator build around a cricketer's game? I saw Rohit Sharma attending a podcast with one senior journalist where he has the gall to say that यार ये commentary में जो बोलते हैं, वो तो player के against में बोलते हैं. Who
कौन
are
बोलता
they?
है?
He said something on those lines. Who are they? They are your
I'm,
personal nannies.
yeah.
They are your
No, I'm
personal
just,
nannies that they are got to speak about your well-being and your cricket and your game. You are not God's blessing to mankind. You never, there are others who have played the game. You have played the game. They have gone. You will go. Some other cricketer will come. He will play. He will go. Nobody is God's blessing to this game. The game is what it is. So I think this narrative, and I totally blame the BCCI for it. It's not like I don't ask the BCCI when they do, but it's just that there are so many. सबको 48,000 crore, 49,000 crore, 51,000 crore वो लेके जाना है, तो यहाँ किसी को पड़ी ही नहीं. It's unfortunate.
yeah, that's right. And now moving on to the other thing that has happened, Nitin, Mayank Yadav once again broken down. We have this big hope, Mayank Yadav, the pace, speed demon, and this and that. Umran Malik before the season started. Mayank Yadav. This is a story which is not going to take off, I suppose.
No, and if what the story says that he was rushed back after limited bowling sessions at the BCCI Center of Excellence, I think then that raises serious question marks about the people handling his injury over there. Why was he rushed back? Number one, why why did his pace drop? And I don't understand. I mean, this it has happened for the third or the fourth time. So clearly there are issues with him physically, not just, I'm not saying biomechanically or whatever. Clearly his body at the moment is not ready to withstand the load of bowling fast. You know it, and there's no shame in that. It happened with Ian Bishop. It happened with Wakar Yunus. It happened with Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins, I think, should be. I think all the players who are breaking down with bad backs, I think Pat Cummins should be their role model. I think he suffered 6 or 7 stress fractures in a row from the age of 19 or 22 till the time India they came to India in 2017. I think he suffered 6 stress fractures, and one of the stress fractures he suffered when he just picked a ball down from down at the while fielding at the fence. So clearly there is something that the Australian Cricket Board and the medical team over there they did with him, and the biomechanical experts over there they did with him to sort it out. And obviously the cricketer's professional exercise routine or his own rehab also plays a part here in terms of how desperate he is to come back and play for his country. So I hope that there is some competitive person who's knowledgeable enough, who's working with this child. Who I hope that his career doesn't go down the same path as we have seen some great Pakistani potential hopes who burst onto the scene but then just fizzled out. And I hope that same doesn't happen with Mayank Yadav and with Umran Malik. So uh, if this story that Sahil has written there is truth to it, that he was rushed back, then I think serious questions should be asked and heads should be on the chopping block. Whoever has done this.
Yes, Srini, you wanted to say something.
Nitin is so right when he talked about some of the things that Cricket Australia has obviously done right. Because while he was speaking, the one thing that came to my mind was a recent podcast that I was doing with Shane Watson. And he was talking about the early stage of his career, the amount of breakdowns that he used to have, and what kind of support that he got, from the ecosystem back in Australia that allowed him to be at peace and be convinced that whenever he would come back to proper fitness, he would eventually be given this kind of platform that he deserves. That confidence and the backing always stayed with him, which goes a long way in determining how a player's mind begins to function. I think he's very right. It is about the cricket boards. In the case of Mayank Yadav, this is not the first time that the NCA has been in news for anything that's gone kind of awry within their ecosystem. I mean, when I was reporting daily regularly for the Times of India, I myself have written a lot about players refusing to go to NCA time and again because they did not have enough trust in how the NCA functioned. Have things changed? I don't know. I mean, these days I don't report so regularly anymore. But having said that, there's only one thing I know. There are camps, people don't get along with one another, people have issues. One medical team doesn't tend to agree with the other medical team's view on a certain injury, on a certain rehab process. And I think wherever there are experts, wherever there is enough abundance of knowledge, I think disagreements may tend to happen. There's only one thing that everybody tends to not care about, is that eventually only the cricketer suffers, nobody else. Everybody else goes on with their jobs, with their stupid egos, with their fake whatever this thing, with their whole narrative, with all the nonsense that they want to keep on kind of talking about. Eventually, in this case also, it is Mayank who will suffer. Whatever happens between the franchise and the so-called medical experts and the NCA and the BCCI, they can keep on fighting. They will all keep their jobs. They will all continue whichever they are doing. It's Mayank who will suffer. That is something that nobody tends to pay attention to. Unless you are a cricketer with a very powerful franchise, then you are taken care of.
Yeah, and we've got Gaurav Gupta as well joining us late on the show. Thanks a lot, Gaurav, for joining us. One question, one quick answer from you. What's happening? Are they naming the test squad for England, the India A squad, or is it just going to be named after the IPL?
Firstly, I mean, apologies for being late. I was there since you talked about naming. I'm at a naming. I was at a naming ceremony only of the stands named after Rohit Sharma, Ajit Wadekar, former captain of India, current ODI captain, and Sharad Pawar, Mr. Sharad Pawar, the former ICC, BCCI, and MCA chairman, president. And coming back to your question about the Indian team being named, I think that's going to take some time. I think even the India A selection, I did a story on that, is likely to be delayed, because of this whole delay in the IPL. The player, I mean, certainly the selectors are going to wait and see कि playoffs में कौन सी teams आ रही हैं. Because that's going to be, a major deciding factor, because a lot of the players whose teams will be in the playoffs will obviously be excluded from the first India A game, which is I think supposed to start from the 30th. And they should be there from the second game, which is from the 6th onwards, when Gigi, the head coach Gautam Gambhir, will be there to watch them in an action. In action, so I'm expecting the likes of Shreyas Iyer and a few others, maybe Karun Nair, all those guys to be present at the second game. And the first game will include. I think this will be mix and match of India A teams. The first India A game will have a different team. The second game will have a different team. So वो सब करना पड़ेगा because of the whole chaos around the IPL being delayed by resuming after such a long time and then spread out again, which obviously I think the telecaster must have insisted on certain number of days IPL जो है वो जाना चाहिए, in that sense. So I think all those majburis have led to that, and I think India is the main India squad, from what I'm hearing, should be announced on 23rd or 24th. With as I reported today, with Shubman Gill as the coronation of Shubman Gill as the new Test captain. I think that should happen on 23rd or 24th. That stays on track more or less. They have to announce that squad because you have to give players clarity about the players who are going to England in the first team. जो इंडिया ए के केस में there are a lot of players whose teams will not go through to the playoffs. For example, Yashasvi Jaiswal is somebody who I see, who I'm told is definitely going on that tour so that he gets some much needed match practice, couple of red ball games before he enters, or possibly all three red ball games before he enters the Test series, which is the perfect scenario. He and Ishan Kishan and a few others definitely should be on that plane. Maybe Nitish Kumar Reddy also, Shardul Thakur also I'm hearing कि उनको इंडिया ए में पिक किया जाएगा so that he gets some a nice opportunity to buttress his case. He's had a good Ranji Trophy season, and we don't have too many options in the all-round category, in the seam bowling all-rounder category. Which is why he's been asked to Nitish Reddy has been asked to bowl more in the nets, which we have seen that he started bowling more. So all in all, exciting time ahead, but थोड़ा सा भी delay हुआ because of the, and I think the picture will become clearer once the IPL resumes, and soon we will have our answers to the एक दो टीमें जो फंसी हुई हैं, जो कि मतलब we don't know whether they could be here or there. So once that is decided, I think the selectors will go ahead and name the teams.
I at least hope that Abhimanyu Ishwaran continues to be the India A captain,
He will
much
be.
like what
He will be.
Priyank Panchal and Subramaniam Badrinath were back in the day. One final round for everybody, starting with you, Dwaipan. MVP so far in the IPL. You're on mute, Dwaipan. You're on mute.
Sai Sudarshan and Surya Kumar Yadav, one of the two.
Okay. Srini, MVP so far?
For me, Sai Sudarshan, player of the tournament so far. Considering that it's the boost that he has got from this IPL, not just the fact that he's done well, but again, I mean, it's propelled him into the Indian team, and from here it could be the beginning of a very, very impressive career. I mean, potentially.
Nitin?
Okay. Sky.
Sky's the limit. And finally, Gigi.
Sky, definitely. I mean, what a phenomenal season he's having, and the way he's tearing apart attacks. I mean, I know Sai and Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill have formed a tremendous opening partnership. But in this tournament, most of the players, most of the openers have formed a lethal opening partnership. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal or Vaibhav Suryavanshi also, when they get going, they look unstoppable. So in a tournament like this where all openers are dominating, almost all openers, my vote will go to Surya Kumar Yadav because he has been absolutely in cracking form and unstoppable and like beautiful to watch. Somebody whom I will pay to watch him again and again rather than look for a complimentary ticket, which everybody does during the IPL.
Yeah,
And
pity that.
Chandresh, just one more thing. Like having said all that, if Mumbai Indians goes on to win, it will be because of Jasprit Bumrah. Mumbai Indians turnaround happened because after Jasprit Bumrah came back. So at the end of the day, maybe it will be Jasprit Bumrah only.
So will you pay to watch him, Gigi, or not pay to watch Jasprit Bumrah?
Jasprit Bumrah, oh, definitely. Why not? Yeah, I mean, there are at least 3-4 players in the Mumbai team whom I'll love to. Even Hardik Pandya when he's on song, especially with the bat, I would love to pay to watch him. I mean, another extremely explosive player. बहुत ज़्यादा उनका निकल के आता नहीं है IPL में potential. I still think if he bats higher up, he will be able to contribute more. But overall, an extremely exciting team with Will Jacks and and Will Jacks तो खैर playoff में चले जाएंगे. सुनने में आ रहा है कि Johnny Bairstow आ जाएंगे उनकी जगह. So all in all, I mean, I would tip them heavily to win the tournament and a Mumbai GT final in Ahmedabad is what I'm expecting.
Johnny
Interesting.
Best to joining Mumbai Indians.
Yes, yes.
Johnny
Yeah,
Because
Bairstow
that's
is
what
not in
that's the
the.
buzz.
Is he not in
That's
the
the buzz
ODI
I read
squad?
on a website.
no, he's not. He's
Oh,
not.
okay.
In the playoffs, replacing Will Jacks.
Okay. So GG is causing potential revenue loss of tickets to MI by sitting in the press box and not buying tickets and sitting. We'll take that up offline for on behalf of MI. But that's it for today from all of us here on TOI Sports. We'll be back again tomorrow. The action resumes tomorrow, and we'll analyze the game tomorrow. Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for joining us here on TOI Sports, and all of you sitting at home and watching us. Remember, you can be part of the conversation. Like, share, subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, press the notification bell. That's it for today. We'll be back again tomorrow. Take good care of yourselves. It's goodbye and God bless from all of us.